Okay. I I don't know how to say this. Vince is showing his booking philosophy. Okay, you want to know how sad this show is? That the kickoff match and the opening match were the two superior matches in the entire pay-per-view. Yeah. So, heading into the show, all we could go on with expectations was the talent. The talent pool is there. But then we also have to remember, Vince dilutes that talent with same generic BS, restricts their moveset because, okay, I know they can say moral high ground or saying we don't want to risk injuries and whatnot. I get that, but at the same time, I just look at it and say, okay, are you doing it out of safety for the talent or the fact that you're going to get sued out of your ass and you feel like you'll be forced to pay millions of dollars, even though really, if you just straight up told them what you got into, and really that's a BS excuse, say, look, you signed on to put your body on the line to entertain the millions. So really they could use that argument, and that would make more sense than saying BS legality issues. And I get like why a guy like Randy Orton probably can't do the same moves he used to do because he got older and older, and as time went on, his body started getting more wear and tear. I can get that. But I'm talking about like guys who can go as long as they humanly can, who can give huge quality bouts, and who can do all these sorts of talent that some people don't have the ability to do. But Vince just restricts it up the wazoo and doesn't want it to go as far as it can. That's why I hate when I see NXT guys get moved up to the main roster or, quote, promoted. Like, yeah, like Andrade Cien Almas, he put on a 5-star match in NXT. Do you really think Vince is going to care? If he's not selling merchandise or he's not some big muscular dude with long hair and numerous tattoos and it might be related to The Rock, that's a big bonus, then Vince is just going to look at it and say, you're useless to me. Yeah, you have talent, but you're useless. You're going to drop a few pounds and go to the cruiserweights. And while he might get more better creative opportunities there since Triple H is in charge, but seriously, he should be winning world titles at this point. But nonetheless, Ruby Riott and Bayley. You know where this was going, so yeah, no one really cared for this match, but it was a lot better than what we got later on in the night. The only story we're getting, which is getting dragged through the mud, is Bayley and Sasha Banks' personal vendettas against one another. Bayley's offering the olive branch for some manipulative reason. Sasha's being inherently stubborn. And all I'm wondering is, why can't you just let these two fight? Oh, wait, because they're being, quote, punished for having an opinion. Yeah. Remember that report? A report came out before WrestleMania that the reason why WWE was holding off on Bayley and Sasha Banks wasn't because they're stupid. No. Because they're vindictive. Apparently, Sasha and Bayley spoke up and said they don't like how this is going. They don't like how the storyline is working. They feel like it's not working with their characters. They just wanted to get this over with mentality kind of thing I've heard. And Vince was like, ha ha ha, that I'm going to drag it out for as long as humanly possible so everyone gets sick of it. So when it does happen, it doesn't mean a damn thing. Pettiness at its finest. So, yeah. This feud won't mean anything. Like, I know, like, I'm all for slow-burning feuds, but when the motive is a vindictive because they have an opinion and they criticize your decision, and you don't want to accept that, it means virtually nothing. So, yeah, I know some people are going to praise it like, oh, they're slow-burning it, and you don't know who's turning heel and who's staying a face. And at this point, both of them could turn heel. They've both been acting heelish, like Bayley's being all manipulative with the whole olive branch thing she did. And Sasha Banks, well, it's Sasha Banks. She made a girl cry in NXT, so I think that counts for something. So, yeah, I'm just not the biggest comments they're going to deliver with this slow burn narrative. of pure vindictiveness. Then, when the show was going on, a leak came out about what the match card's gonna be like. When I heard that, I was like, yeah, they're screwed. So, I'll get to that when I can. But, I must stress that it said that the Miz and Seth Rollins match, which really stole the show, yeah, it did, it was produced by Tyson Kidd. Yeah. Tyson Kidd produced that match. Insert slow, methodical clap of happiness. Yeah, so now we know who to trust with matches now. But anyways, Miz couldn't recruit the Miz to us as his lackeys. Instead, he had to fight Seth Rollins by himself. And this was a really goddamn great match. Stole the show. There's no way to say it. It just stole the show. This match was match of the night. Seth Rollins is on fire. He's kicking ass. He's taking names. And hell, even the whole use finishers repeatedly in this match for Miz, it didn't feel generic. It felt like, okay, like I said, I don't have a problem when a wrestler uses the finisher multiple times. I get the meaning behind it. It's supposed to mean that this is the end of the match. But I think the reason why is because I played the game so much and I have done multiple finishers that it doesn't really bother me, so long as the match is super freaking awesome. But yeah, which is why I can watch John Cena versus Kevin Owens round 1. I refuse to acknowledge he had 2 more matches. As opposed, I could watch John Cena Roman Reigns because there was no added content, no added stuff to it. It was just finishers being used. Explosives, yes, but not really adding tension to it. So, yeah, anyways, Miz was awesome. I actually had hoped Miz would win. Like, I know Seth Rollins is having this Monday Night Rollins run, but I really just want to do the Miz and Bryan for the IC title as a redemption storyline for Bryan. And finally put an end to the Miz and Bryan saga that's been building up, and I'm waiting for and it's most likely to happen at SummerSlam. So, yeah, this was freaking awesome. Match of the night. It would be the only match that was saying, oh my god, that's actually a pretty freaking awesome match. And yeah, stole the show. There's nothing for it. Like, Seth Rollins kicked out the skull crushing finale twice. There was no outside interference, so that means that Vince wasn't in charge of this matchup because, oh, it's not Roman Reigns. It doesn't mean crap. And I'll get back to that in a moment because that has a lot of meaning. So now let's get to the eventual downfall of the show. Now let's get to body-shaming storyline. Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss in the saga of who will be shamed and who's the idiot here. I say Vince is, but that's a different matter. Yeah, I'm not invested. I don't care for this match. Like, they're clearly trying to promote anti-bullying thing. I get that. But why do this whole, like, okay. Why not just have Nia use that for her character? Saying that the reason why part of her wanted to be a wrestler was to be an idol because she's known what it's like to be dealing with bullies and whatnot. Why have this body-shaming angle where they go ahead and make fun of Nia's weight, how big she is, whereas Bliss, who I must stress in interviews has said from real life she had an eating disorder, and Vince is saying, go out there and body shame your real life best friend. Yeah, I know you had an eating disorder, but I really don't care. You see, you're NXT people, so therefore you're scum to me. That's the vibe I get when I'm looking at these angles they did. The whole moment of bliss thing. Like, I get the purpose. It was a lot better than the whole Nikki Bella, I never told anyone confession segments, which are still stupid. But it's just horrendous that they did this. That they thought this was going to put asses in seats. Like, I really hope this is the end of their storyline. Really do. There's really nothing left to do. So please tell me this is over. Please tell me it's over. And then we get to a disappointing fight. Hardy and Orton. Jeff Hardy versus Orton. Yeah, no one cared. Really. No one really cared. And now they decide to mention their last encounter with each other. So, yeah. When you put the guy who, while still can go, is showing signs of his age catching up, and a guy who doesn't seem to be at all interested in doing this anymore, you're gonna have a dispassionate match. I know they're trying their damnedest, but Orton just seems like he's not really interested anymore. Hardy is, having to work with a guy who doesn't seem to be interested in doing this. So, when you get that, it's not going to be a good match. Jeff Hardy retains, all said and done, and we still continue our horrible decline. And then we get Elias's concert. Yeah, that meant nothing. It really means nothing. Okay, it's almost... Here's the best way to describe it. They knew that this wasn't WrestleMania, but they need to get a lot of people on the card because royalty checks. So they did that. They went ahead and made Bobby Roode twerk. Yeah. Well, sort of. He just kept swaying his hips, but repeatedly. And Elias, he was the only thing having fun, and the moment when he was just wondering what the hell was going on, that was the question he should be asking. Did I piss in Vince's coffee? I had to. There's no way this is right. Oh, and Rusev and Aiden English were there, so yeah, we got a Rusev Day moment, and that only further diluted the show because I want to start chanting Rusev Day more. So yeah, Bobby Roode beats up Elias. Yeah. Also, why were SmackDown guys showing up? Like the New Day. They had nothing to do with the story. Everyone wants to cheer for Elias. Everyone wants to cheer for Elias. They want to walk with Elias. So, why not, and this might be a tough thing to say, why not turn him face and have him do stuff that The Rock did? I'm not saying he's charismatic as The Rock. That's impossible. I'm saying, why not have Elias use his concert to rip into the heels? It's a simple question. Oh, wait, he's NXT, therefore he's still evil in Vince's eyes. It's so simple. Just have Elias start going ahead, using his concert music to rip all the heels a new one in order to showcase his talent, and then kick their asses in the match, or at least try to. But everyone wants to cheer for Elias, and I'm worried that as more cheers happen, Vince is just going to hear it and say, kill it, kill it, kill it, because anything that's organic, it has to be destroyed. Rusev Day's teasing to split up because reportedly a report came out that when they look at Aiden English with Rusev, they just see a mid-card act. But when they see Lana and Rusev, that's a main event pairing. And I'm thinking oh, so you don't want to do Dolph Ziggler, Big E, and AJ Lee again. Is that it? You had two main event talents, a woman who could have been main eventing, but she was in a time when women were not considered worthy for the main event picture in Vince's eyes. So, yeah, tell me what is wrong. Tell me why can't you just do that? Lana's wrestling abilities isn't good. She still needs really long time to improve. You can make it. You could let Aiden English be affiliated with Rusev still. I like Aiden English in this gimmick. And plus, say they break up. Someone wondered who would he be a spokesperson for after Rusev. I only suggested one, Shinsuke Nakamura, because that is the only way I see that working. It was just freaking hilarious. It wouldn't make any sense because Nakamura almost busted Aiden English's vocal cords, but Still, this is Vince's world, so we have to be dumb, right? But yeah, why not have Rusev fight Shinsuke Nakamura, do a double turn? Like, keep Nakamura in this heel role, but have Rusev fight so hard that fans cheer and cheer to the point that he starts to accept the fans, and they go with it. They turn him face. They make it in English look like Rusev's motives always make sense. He wants to avenge his friend for being busted, nearly losing his voice by Nakamura's hand. He wanted to defend his wife's honor. He wanted to beat the crap out of somebody for sexually harassing her. Oh yeah, besides that still is a horrible storyline they did with Rusev, Cass, and Enzo. Because apparently sexual harassment is A-okay because they're great patriotic Americans and Rusev and Lana are evil foreigners even though Lana is an American. But she's playing a Russian valet, so basically she's evil in Vince's eyes. Speaking of Big Cass, yeah, Daniel Bryan tried to do the best he could, but yeah, that would like. They kept this match short. Either they want to protect Bryan, or Big Cass's limited ability and the fact that he's really rusty since he missed a half a year. So yeah. At least they did the beatdown angle right, with Cass kicking Bryan's ass. Yeah. And they also did this to try and delay the confrontation between Miz and Bryan. Yeah. And of course, fans chanted, "We want Enzo! We want Enzo!" And all I'm thinking is, he's still under investigation, so yeah, this could be, and if he's found guilty, that's going to make things really uncomfortable. But I'm still waiting for the innocent till proven guilty verdict, as the investigation is still ongoing regarding what happened with Enzo and what led to his termination, and I don't feel like getting into that. But yeah, they were rumored to be changing his name from Big Cass to Colin Cassidy, you know, his old NXT name, since they want to distance him from Enzo. That's not going to work. That's never going to work. Like, if you look at Big Cass, he's always going to be seen as the guy who was basically Enzo's giant bodyguard, his best friend. They can't imagine Big Cass without Enzo. And once again, they keep having Big Cass raise his fist over the C, over the letter C, and Big, you know what? And all I'm wondering is, they have to be aware of this. The camera purposely moved. They have to be aware of it. They can't play the dumb card on this. Kevin Dunn would have to be aware of it. Okay, you know what? That makes now that makes sense when I think about it. Like, you know, Kevin Dunn focusing on that sign where it said "Fat Owens Fat" because Kevin Owens is a big boned guy, and we are proud of anti-bullying. But I'm gonna go and bully someone because he doesn't look muscular. So, is there a chance that while Vince likes Big Cass, Dunn, because he's NXT, therefore he's evil, will linger the sign to call him a big ass? Is that it? That's the only way I see that working. But even then, Vince would by now step in and be like, "The children are watching!" Oh, man. So... Bryan, he wins very quickly. So, you know, that happened. And Big Cass beat the crap out of him. So, yeah, now we got Carmella versus Charlotte Flair. No one cares about this match. Like, they mostly were trying to hide Carmella's in-ring weakness. But, yeah, her trash talking really was the only thing that making the commentary look bad. So yeah, her screaming and whatnot, her trash talk was basically the only thing to highlight about this match. She goes ahead and gets a roll up and retains her title. Nothing really to be memorable about, but considering this was after her match with Asuka, which was the second best match to everybody, besides Ronda Rousey's performance, yeah, that's a sign there's something wrong here. And now we get to the match that really pissed everybody off for two reasons. And it has to do with that document that leaked regarding the match order that was going to happen. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. No disqualifications for the WWE Championship. This was not the penultimate match either. This was the third to last match of the show. And the card said that Reigns and Joe were going to close the show. The WWE Champion is not closing the show. They don't want this to matter, do they? They don't want this title to matter, because if it's not Reigns, it's worthless. It means nothing. All those decades of history, Bruno Sammartino, all that hard work he put in to make that title prestigious, all the hard work that even Hogan, despite his politicking, made it worthy, Stone Cold, The Rock, they're not Roman Reigns. They mean nothing. It means nothing. Now, if he was the champion, that would mean completely different. It'd be worth everything. We would make that the biggest card ever. The best match in history. But, you see, we got one guy who's from the independent scene, who's really well known, and I didn't create him. And we got another guy who's well known, but also he's a foreigner. He's Japanese. And you know Japanese people are evil in Vince's eyes. You know, stupidity booking 101. Why is this the third match? To end the third match to not close out the show. Like, everyone wants to see this match close out a show. Why don't they want to do it? Probably because of what I said. Because everyone will look at... And the worst part is... They cop out on it. Big time. You want to know what this match devolved to? It was so close. So close to stealing the show. Joining Miz and Rollins. And they ended it with a double count because both of them kicked each other in the crotch twice. And fans were chanting, "Main event! Main event! Main event!" The WWE title to Vince is nothing if it doesn't have Reigns on it. And they decide to continue this feud when I'm all for Nakamura winning. Styles, he's great. He's phenomenal. And he's 40 years old, and yet he runs around and wrestles like he's still in his prime. And Nakamura, I know he can do great matches. I want him to take a run with the title. But at the same time, I'm worried that they'll turn him into a coward-like heel like Rollins. Because Vince can't stand a heel being strong unless it's a beast like Lesnar. And I found out that Lesnar and Nakamura once upon a time, before Nakamura got really good, actually wrestled for the IWGP World Title. Sadly, that was only 9 minutes, I believe. So, nothing worthy to be remembered, sadly. Would have been pretty awesome. So, the title to Vince is nothing without Reigns. You know that title, you know that phrase, the guy makes the title, and Styles definitely made the title. Now, in Vince's eyes, the title is nothing without Roman on it. The title means nothing without Roman on it. The title on Styles? No, it means jack crap. The title on Nakamura? Hell, that means jack shit. the title on Braun Strowman, that means nothing. Now, if we got part-timer or Roman Reigns, that'd be something. And then we get to Bobby Lashley and Strowman versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Yet no one cared. No one cared about this match at all. Like, you got these two awesome guys against the two awesome guys, and you somehow found a way to screw it all up. Strowman, he's awesome. He's always freaking awesome. But when you write a story where you're going to hint that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are going to break up after the last attempt they did, like, they're still losing. Like, I know some people were saying they were main eventers on SmackDown. Yeah, they main evented, but they were always taking the falls. Even when really they shouldn't have. Like, and making them lose more constantly and not making them a threat. Like they could be. With more victories. Like, yeah, they could probably do a huge beat-up angle like and make Shane McMahon sound like he's giving birth. Yeah, that's the comment everyone was saying about that attack. But when you don't have victories to show that, yeah, this guy is a legit threat, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Or at least to me, it doesn't work. So, yeah. And Lashley, what the hell is he doing? Strowman, he's just there to give energy and excitement, but really, what's Lashley doing? Like, they bring him back, and then they're basically saying, yeah, we kind of have nothing for you right now. We want to do Lesnar versus Lashley, but Lesnar says that we have to give him over $2 million. And we're already tight enough as it is with the $100 million we got from the Greatest Royal Rumble event, that's from hosting. And that's not counting all the merchandise money we made. But we gotta do this, so if he loses, we have to give him more money. You see, it's Lesnar. He's kind of a bastard when it comes to contracts and a shark. So, yeah, Strowman, and he still doesn't carry around the title he won, proving once again that Royal Rumble match meant nothing other than, Strowman's never going to win the Royal Rumble. We had to give it because Roman Reigns is God. So, there. And then we get to the match that didn't have any meaning to it. Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. Okay, here's the thing I'm going to say. I like Reigns. I am a fan of him. He is talented. He has the charisma. He has the potential. He could even do well with charisma if he was given more leeway with the microphone than being scripted to hell. But saying, you need to put him over the title. He's bigger than the title. He's bigger than this thing. He's bigger than everything else. In a storyline that didn't have any much build-up after Joe went to SmackDown. And the fact that they admit that it was reported that the only reason Joe's on SmackDown was because if they kept him on Raw, he will do nothing. Because Roman's on there. And then you go further and start booking him in Superman mode when you have Samoa Joe beat the crap out of him and he still loses. This is Lesnar levels of stupidity. But at least Reigns lasted much longer and tried to do the damnedest he can with all the restrictions. But yeah, there's nothing valuable here. There was nothing but rest holds and whatnot, and fans were reportedly leaving the show. That says something. Fans were chanting, "This is boring," Rusev Day, and then the death note was when they chanted CM Punk. And yeah. And if they seriously want to try and make Roman this, quote, sympathetic character, either A, you turn him heel when he snaps and give him believable motivation for his eventual dark side turn, or you get rid of the Vince McMahons of the world from writing the crap and let Triple H handle it. I've been saying that if Triple H was in charge of Roman Reigns' push when they started getting serious with it, I guarantee that things would have been very different. But Vince hates his son-in-law because he's better than him. He would have to admit to himself and to everybody in the entire company and to the world that Triple H is doing better than him now. That he is ready for my job. I'm not relenting on that. I would rather burn this company to the ground and let you all live out on the streets, ruined in financial craziness, without any money or any way of getting a life out of this, and ruin all your careers, than ever admit I'm wrong. I will push Roman Reigns the way I like it, whereas everyone hates it, and even Roman might say he hates it, but I will enjoy it because I have a fetish problem. And I'm over 70, I am senile, and I make every Trump tweet he's posted look subtle, look mature by comparison. I went there. I really went there. So, yeah. No one cared for this match. Everyone was starting to walk out. The second Reigns ended the match, we see cameras showing people just instantly getting up and walking. So, yeah. Making him a revolutionary hero of the people isn't working. And here's the thing. He's not going to work turning heel. Because the hate has grown so big that if you turned him heel, that won't mean anything. Everyone will start cheering for him. But if you do the heel turn, you would have to go NXT levels of greatness to try and make it work. You would have to do Tommaso Ciampa level writing. But Vince would have to admit he's wrong. And until the day comes, which is why I'm saying this, I want XFL to launch and be successful. Because that's the only way that doesn't require Vince dying at the stake and burning and being buried 6 feet under to happen for Triple H to take over. That's why I want XFL to succeed. I don't want to be those people that say Vince has to die. He has to die in order for Triple H to take over. That's because that's a dark, twisted thought that has to go through people's heads. I want the XFL to succeed. As much as no one cares about it, if the XFL does well, Vince's focus will be taken away from that, from the WWE onto that, and Triple H will get more power. That's the only way I see this working, and we have to go through a year or so of more crap just to get through it. Just to reach that pivotal moment for WWE's turning point. So yeah, Seth Rollins and The Miz, they stole the show. Styles and Nakamura were so close, and then they screwed it up. So really, that's pretty much it. So those were our thoughts on the disappointment and possibly worst show of 2018, and hopefully will be the one, and hopefully will not be surpassed, but I don't have any hopes on that. This was the Reality Entertainment. If you like, comment, subscribe, and donate, stay tuned for more. And oh god.